Hello everybody. So I thought I'd continue with my series of stuff what I have which is nearby, which I kind of like slash have kept for some reason. Anyways, onward. I have a few items. I don't want to say they're the dregs of the collection because they're not at all, but maybe they're a little bit trickier. Anyways, I shall start with this first item. The first item is, I will admit, it was a gift. It's not a bad gift. I will first put that out there in case I come across as negative about it, because I don't want to do that. It was a gift from my stepmother, and it goes along with the positive thinking theme of previous books and stuff I've talked about. Now what it is Paul McKenna's Change Your Life in 7 Days. I did start reading this, because at first I was like, Paul McKenna, really? That's a bit lame. Not that I have anything against the guy, but I'm like, really? Hypnotism? Don't know. Bit of context. Stepmother is kind of a trained hypnotherapist. So, of course, she's done that stuff in the past. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's kind of mental programming, I guess. But it's not really something I subscribe to. In the sense of, I'd rather... I don't know. I'd rather not rely on someone else to try and do that to me. I guess I'd rather assess what the issue is as such, and figure things out for myself rather than being like, oh, I'm gonna have some hypnotherapy now. So this book, I did start reading it. It is very much about positive thinking and the way you see stuff, and I just wanted to sort of read. Basically, I've marked a page in this from the last time I read it, which is quite good. I'll read a little bit of it. So, reprogramming your self-image for success. Take a few moments to relax and breathe deeply. As your muscles relax, it becomes easier and easier to unleash your imagination. I'm sorry, I can't help but be sarcastic of that. But anyway, now imagine another you standing in front of you. This is the most magnificent you that you can imagine, your authentic self. So basically it's saying, imagine who you really are and want to be. Okay? Just imagine that. And then take a moment to feel totally happy with your authentic self. Look at the way the authentic you stands, breathes, smiles, walks and talks. Look at how the authentic you speaks to others. Notice how the authentic you handles problems and goes for goals. You kind of get this idea of, what's the ideal you if you really wanted to express yourself and how you deal with things, rather than, I don't know, just carry on with life, I guess. And then it goes on to say something like, step into that and see how it feels to be that person you really want to be. And then finish it off dreaming about how your life would be different if you really were that person. And I guess it kind of gets into the sort of thinking of, there's always been this phrase of, if you pretend to be something enough, you will become that. I've heard that for years. I've not really subscribed to that either, but I can see how it would work as well. It seems like a lot of effort, but at the same time you kind of condition yourself into it. So that really stuck out to me from the amount I've read in the book, and amongst many other things I probably will end up reading that a bit more at some point, but I'm more of a, as I said before, a Darren Brown kind of guy. He's very sort of matter of fact and sort of a, well, this is actually how it is, you know, less wishy-washy. Don't mean to be rude about Paul McKenna as such, but he does feel a little bit wishy-washy. He's got some very good points though in there, and yeah, so that might be a good one if you want some more positive thinking. You don't really like the sort of more blunt feel of maybe Darren Brown. Yeah. Next, I have a film. Now, not just any film. It is a William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Of course, it's the Baz Luhrmann version. I mean, yeah. Back in school, of course, you always study Shakespeare's work and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed doing that. I did the whole 12th Night, Romeo and Juliet, all the greatest ones, basically. And really love that. Now what they also do is they talk to you about Baz Luhrmann's version, partially because of the symbology in it, because there is a lot of sort of like religious artifacts there and how they represent things in the film, and it's a lot to talk about in English literature essentially, and it's a project piece. It's something to talk on and elaborate on stuff, which I always found quite funny with like plays and books and stuff with English class, because you do sometimes get to the point where you go, we're analysing this a lot, we're trying to get as much as we can out of it. What's the chance that this author didn't actually mean that and we're just over-analysing it? Did they really mean all this stuff, or is it sort of developed over this time? But, you know, it is what it is, and it's quite clever, I guess. I'm certain this version is meant to be clever. But I really appreciate the way that they update something that is really quite old. Not in a bad sense, but really quite old. And they're clever with it. So, for example, they have the names of swords as the model names of the guns that they use in it, for example. So there's little flourishes like that which allow the play as such to be adapted to a modern film. So they can still speak the words more what's the word? True to the original way, but still update it, and it looks right. It sounds right. It's not sort of like, oh, forsooth, and I will slay you with Excalibur, and then they bring out a rocket launcher, and that's it. At least this way they do try to adapt it in a way that makes sense, and it's really quite fresh. So, and of course I will admit the scene with the fish tank where they're on both sides and that whole musical set there, the music in it and the soundscape is just really quite something in this film. If you have not seen this version, you absolutely must see this version. It is really good. Actually, I've got a few days off coming up soon. I might actually watch that. It really is something special. I haven't watched that in a while. Yeah. Was it Mercutio? The guy in it? The one who's a bit of a joker and Romeo's mate? That is played really well in there as well. Now next, something a little bit more fun, I guess. The Muppets. I know you know who the Muppets are. Now, I have 3 items here, so I'm going to lump them all into one. I have Fraggle Rock on DVD. Love that, brilliant. And yes, you and I now have the intro tune stuck in our heads. And if you don't, it goes something like do 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 and so on. I'm not going to finish it intentionally so that you have to finish it and get more stuck in your head, but yeah, Fraggle Rock, absolutely brilliant. Another clear example of essentially children's show, which is also entertaining for adults. So yeah, love that. Absolutely love the way Muppets are done. It's a style that, well, partially for copyright or something, isn't done as much otherwise, and it's quite unique. So yeah, Fraggle Rock, and I have The Muppet Show, Collector's Edition, including all the old actors that you had in it as well. Who was one of them? I think Bruce Forsyth was in it as well. That was really good. It was just really quite interesting because being brought up, I didn't see the original ones. I saw sort of the later seasons, and they were good. But it was really quite fresh to see the older stuff and seeing maybe these more serious actors and stuff being in a role where they could be more immature and see them in a fresher light as well. So yeah, love that stuff. And you probably just seen me waving it around. My Gonzo doll, which I picked up at, I think, the MCM Expo again a few years back, and I just love having a puppet there. It really is quite cool. I used to actually have a hand puppet, which I wanted to do sort of voice acting and stuff, so I guess that's linked to the whole Muppets thing. Lost it, unfortunately, so oh, what you can do. Anyways, that will be it for today. And yeah, I'll have some more stuff for next time, so ta-ra.